How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. I wanted to talk about some of the massive things that Elon Musk just talked about. Now, I just did a video, or at least I just recorded it. I'm not sure if it's going to be up yet, on what was actually said by all these different speakers, but I wanted to really dial in on some big things that Elon talked about and some reasons to be bullish on crypto. So he had talked about how right now Bitcoin is not really set up to be used for transactions. He still thinks transactions are too expensive. He thinks volume's too low. But he talked about the three cryptos that he owns, and he gave some insights into what his companies own, which, if I'm not mistaken, he has not gone into this amount of detail before. And I covered it in my last video summarizing this event, but I think we should go into a little bit more depth on it. Now, if you guys don't mind just hitting the like button, I appreciate that. Please hit subscribe too. Also, if you guys want, you can get an interest rate on your crypto down below using the link down below to BlockFi. And there's one to Voyager. So I like having multiple cryptocurrency websites or exchanges just in case one goes down. So definitely check out both of those down below. Now, we should talk about the prices. They have come down a little bit since the event happened. I think a lot of people just selling the event, knowing that was coming up, they were buying. And then even during the event, it kind of got hyped up and then fell down a little bit. Now, right off the bat, he said that in the future, he thinks that Tesla will probably accept Bitcoin as payment again. He said that he has to do a little bit more research, or the company has to do a little bit more research just to make sure it's as clean as people are saying it is, since now it's become more clean after China. A lot of miners left China. So that's going to be something that's going to be interesting to watch. First of all, that is a massive catalyst because we know what happened last time Bitcoin was starting to be accepted as payment by Tesla. And once they bought over $1 billion worth, the price went through the roof, right? It went from like 40 to 45,000 within a day or two, I believe. So that is an interesting catalyst. Now, he did talk about, and a lot of other people talked about, the different use cases for Bitcoin, for different risks to Bitcoin and how it can be improved. So that's why I do suggest watching that summary video. And if you want to see the original video too, I'll put it up on the end screen. But he did go into the fact that, hey, I might pump Bitcoin, I might pump other cryptocurrencies, but I'm not dumping them. He goes into the fact that he actually has a significant amount of money, first of all, in Tesla, obviously. Second of all, in SpaceX, in stock in SpaceX, which is a private company that he owns, obviously. Then the Boring Company, and that's another company that he owns. And then he has it in three cryptos. He owns three different cryptos. The most significant one is Bitcoin. So he owns the most of the three, and he owns more Bitcoin than the other two. He said they own some Dogecoin, which I believe we already knew that. I think he's talked about that before. Then he owns Ethereum also. So he owns a small amount of Ethereum. He owns way more Bitcoin. He said that he has not sold any of these cryptos. And he gave us a little bit of an insight. So we knew, obviously, that Tesla owns Bitcoin. But he also said SpaceX owns Bitcoin. So it really makes no financial sense for him to push these prices down. He said that. But he does have this, I think, calling to really focus on the environment and do what's right for the environment. So that's why they stopped accepting payments, not because they want to, push down the price or anything like that. He just noticed that there were some coal miners that were getting back online, or there were some plants that were using coal. And now that the price has gone down, he thinks that that's changing a little bit, which is why Tesla might accept it as payment again. Now, I find this really fascinating. He's really focused on the three massive cryptocurrencies, but the two massive cryptocurrencies, and then Dogecoin. He talked about why he owns Doge, because he thinks that it's ironic and that it will actually do quite well because it is ironic. It was a token or a crypto that was made as a joke because the creators thought crypto was crazy. And he thinks that because of that, it will probably win out. He said, though, that he owns, again, the majority of the crypto he owns is Bitcoin, and then he also owns Ethereum. I don't believe he's talked about Ethereum before, and I don't believe he's talked about SpaceX owning crypto before. So that's where it gets really interesting. We'll have to see whether they're adding to their Bitcoin stack. Tesla, they report earnings next week, so if I'm correct, I believe it is Monday that they report earnings, Monday or Tuesday, along with a lot of the other massive tech companies. But a lot of people are waiting to see, okay, did Apple or Facebook or Tesla, did they buy Bitcoin? Obviously, Tesla's already owned it, but did some of these other tech companies buy Bitcoin recently? There's some people that think, hey, they could have bought billions of dollars. There were some articles floating around that Apple bought billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. Same thing with some other companies too. So we will see that next week, hopefully. But I think there are some catalysts. First of all, Elon just owning different cryptos is good for the cryptos. But I think there are some catalysts that, hey, Bitcoin might accept as payment. Also, he put some pressure on Jack to accept cryptos, especially Bitcoin, as currency for ad space on Twitter. Now, Jack didn't really respond to this. Elon said, "Are you going to do it?" And Jack just kind of laughed, like saying, "Hey, basically, I can't talk about this on stream. I can't talk about what we're going to do as a company." But Elon did put some pressure. Elon himself said that we really need to accept cryptos as payment for goods and services so that more people will use it. Because right now it's not really easy to use. There aren't a lot of use cases. He didn't really say that specifically in those words, but essentially that's what he's saying. And if we as the company start using it more often, then other people will follow suit. Now, the whole event is much longer than just these people talking. I covered 2 hours of the event before they went on, talking about debunking some of the myths in Bitcoin. And I believe this goes on for about 4 or 5 hours after I stop streaming, 4 or 5 hours from now still. So if you guys want to see this whole conversation, there was some back and forth between the people, not just the moderator. So it was pretty interesting. I'll link to that video on the end screen, and you can skip to 2 hours. I have a timestamp in here, 2 hours, 19 minutes and 44 seconds. I have the timestamp, so you can start right when they start talking. And then also I did a summary of some of the other things that they talked about with Bitcoin and crypto, and I'll put that on the end screen too. But I think both those are really fascinating. Big things coming, I think, for cryptocurrency overall. People were asking, was I buying up into this event? No, I was buying the last couple of days when it was depressed, but I wasn't trying to like rush in when it was at 32,000, when Bitcoin was at 32,000, because I knew that there would probably be some selling of this event. Some people that were just trying to ride it up just in case there was a big announcement. But I'm also not dumping either. I'm not worried. I think long term it's going to be a good investment, and I am happy to stack up my different cryptos right now, get some interest using BlockFi and Voyager. Both those are down below. If you guys want to know exactly when I buy, you can check out the link down below to Patreon. We have bought some crypto related stocks, one that was up 17% today. So if you guys want to check that out, you can. Thank you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.